Welcome to Career Journeys, a series of videos by the Consortium for Public Education. Here we explore the career experiences and pathways of professionals from a wide variety of careers to help you think about the skills you'll need and the paths you might take after high school.
Hi, I'm Debbie Pixton with the Consortium for Public Education. Today I'm interviewing Anita Buzzy-Prentiss, owner and photographer at Buzzy Photography. Thank you so much for joining us, Anita.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Anita, tell us about Buzzy Photography. What kind of photography do you do?
I shoot people, portraits of all kinds, everything from babies to high school seniors, business headshots, families, pretty much everything. I shot weddings for many years. I still shoot some weddings, but that's sort of a smaller part of what I do, mostly people.
That's great. How did you discover your love of photography? Can you tell us a little bit about your career path?
When I was in, I would say, like grade school, early high school, I absolutely loved the whole idea of like photo studios and models and fashion and magazine pictures and like ad pictures and like people posing for photographers and things like that. So I was a model for a while and would love going to photo studios, and at the time didn't realize what I really loved about it was the other side of the camera. So I would be in front of the camera and be posing for pictures, but I would always be really curious about what was happening behind the camera, and ended up becoming an intern for a photographer. During my summers during college, I would come home and just work for free. I would be fixing pieces of hair and powdering noses and helping make sure everybody was taken care of. And I learned from being the subject earlier, being a model and learning how the light worked and how it felt to be out in front of the camera. When I became behind the camera, I was really super aware of how to make a subject feel comfortable, which I feel is almost all the battle when it comes to getting a great picture, is getting somebody really relaxed enough to be themselves and not feeling so nervous or on the spot or really posed or stiffed or holding their breath, and somebody who can just be there and in it and confident and just okay with having their picture taken.
So Anita, you mentioned like making a client feel really comfortable. What are some other skills that make you really talented, really skilled at being a photographer?
I think part of it is something that's like an empathy or a compassion for a person to become a good photographer. Being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes, and for example, to have a young mom walk in the door holding a baby, and instead of having your agenda or your blinders on to be like, oh yeah, I need to put up this backdrop and set up this light, and she's gonna stand there and she's gonna stand this way and this is gonna go like this. You have to be like the kind of person who's able to just forget about have yourself so well trained and practiced that your stuff just is flowing. You know how to set your camera, your backdrop, your light, everything's like, you're not worried about that. You have to turn around, watch this woman walk in the door and imagine being her and get into her, just think about what she's going through and be like, can I get you something to drink? Can I help you carry that? What are you gonna wear? Let me help you fix your hair. Being able to step around and not be the person behind the camera just seeing like this, but instead seeing the world from your subject's eyes and helping them feel like, I do feel comfortable and calm and confident. And I think part of that came from being in front of the camera and being a subject, starting out that way, but also just being the kind of person who can just kind of be compassionate and being empathetic to other people. And I think when you're that kind of person, you become an artist in some way, because you feel so deeply, and you can really feel for other people, and you need to express that in some way, whether it's like by being an artist or a writer or a musician or a dancer, or just expressing those emotions in some way. I really love expressing the emotions of love and relationships. So that I love to repeat that expression, and my pictures, I hope, convey that sort of expression of love and connection.
So, Anita, if I'm in high school and I'm thinking about either becoming a photographer or maybe just an artist in general, what questions should I ask myself to know if that's going to be a good career fit for me?
It's really good to spend some time around creative people, and any type of creative people. I remember being in high school and really just being drawn to quirky people, or just people who are just creative in like anything. I think that's a real sign of that's something that you really need to follow, is your artistic spirit, is when you just strike up great conversations with people who are creating in any sort of way. But yeah, maybe just follow your curiosities, and reading and finding images that like spark like your soul, and that make you want to look at over and over again, and find artists or photographers whose work inspires you a lot, on Instagram, or just start filling your mind with things that really feel right, and trust your instincts, and follow those guides towards what makes you happy.
So, what's one piece of advice you would offer to our students who are aspiring to be artists, or more specifically, photographers?
I've had interns that have learned a ton just by hanging around and being part of shoots. And I think I love having young photographers around me, because I learn from them as much as they can learn from me. So I would say find a photographer who you can, even if their style isn't exactly what you like. When I was first learning, sometimes you can learn a lot from somebody whose style you're not crazy about, to learn what you don't want to do. When I was first shooting weddings, I used to shoot as an assistant for this guy, and it was great because I was making money doing it, but I wanted to do everything opposite that he was doing. So then I did. And it felt so good. It was like, I felt so constrained by this whole sort of energy he had, that when I finally was able to be in charge, I was like, I just did everything off. It was kind of like fun so you can always learn from people, even if they aren't exactly what you want to do. So I would just say, try to find some mentors and some people to help teach you also just the skills, because there's a lot, of just informational things, and there's a lot of learning you can do online, and people you can connect with who can help teach you the ropes.
Anita, this has been really wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and experiences with us today.
You're welcome.
For more information or to learn about other careers in the Career Journey series, visit our website and check back soon for our next installment. Thanks!